Well, was it the referee or was it the formation that cost Bristol City at Oxford? Welcome back to Where Robins Walk. Ginger HQ says it was a good point on the circumstances. I'm still not happy with how Manning is setting us up. 3-4-2-1 is a crap formation. Welcome back. This week we're talking about that Oxford result. Did the referee cost you? Or was it Manning himself? We're talking about Sinclair, Armstrong, and the statement from the club this week that we know new signings. We'll look at the February fixtures, and we're completing our worst ever Bristol City 11 by filling in the midfield. Delighted to have back with us Ethan, Sam, and Liam. Ben is on holiday this week, so we'll catch up with him next week. And of course, we're starting at Oxford. Sam, how was your first ever trip to the Kassam?
Yeah, it was a bit ruined by the referee's performance, to be fair. I thought we'd give a good account of ourselves, but to play for over 60 minutes with 10 men and then down to 9 men, the referee absolutely ruined it.
Let's talk about let's get into the refereeing bits a bit first, then, shall we? Let's do the Williams tackle first of all. Ethan, many City fans have pointed out Williams was sent off, but this was a yellow, which of course, when frozen, looks worse. What was your view on the Williams tackle?
Yeah, for me, it's probably just red. I think Joe Williams always got sort of that reckless streak in him, and I didn't think the actual tackle was red card worthy, but it's the following trailing leg that does it for him. But yeah, that one doesn't look great at all. And from the still image, you'd argue that's a straight red card, even more so. But yeah, no, I think he's probably just the right idea to send him off.
Okay, Liam, what's your thoughts?
No, never for me. It seems like you win the ball as a red card these days. If you slide in like Williams does, okay, he's given the ref the opportunity to make that decision. But what's he meant to do with his trailing leg? He's won the ball clearly with the first one. He hasn't gone studs up. He's got a full foot on the ball. Of course, the trailing leg is going to come through and take the player. It happens in any tackle. So that's absolutely ridiculous. If it wasn't for the Oxford players surrounding the ref, Will Vauxhall wasn't even hurt. He got straight up. So to give a red card for that is beyond a joke. He might as well have been out there in an Oxford kit. I'm not going to use that as a prime excuse to why we didn't come away with the 3 points. But some of the decisions he was given yesterday, and like I said, that Greg Lake tackle on Williams was about 5 minutes before that happened. How can you give a red for that? But yeah, no, didn't even touch the ball, Lee, and you can see from that image he's above his knee. That's a leg breaker, and they got away with a yellow card for that. It's just so inconsistent with it.
What about McCory's red, Sam? Any issues with that?
It was one of them, wasn't it? I mean, both players went in for the 50-50 ball. And I think his first yellow card was a bit soft in the first half, to be fair. And if he was going to book McCory, why didn't he book the Oxford player as well? And like the referee yesterday, I mean, I've seen Hull fans moaning about him from the Swansea game. And he just had something about Bristol City yesterday, because when Armstrong turned their centre back, and he had both arms around him, pulled him back. He was already on a yellow card, so he should have been gone. He should have been walking.
Yeah, especially when 2 minutes later he books Bird for apparently doing the same to Dembele. He didn't even touch him. Dembele tried doing a little pirouette and landed on the floor, and the ref booked Bird for it. It's ridiculous.
If you thought
he had Oxford for a win on his accumulator yesterday.
And you said about
it didn't work out for him.
You said about the McCory second booking. If you watch the replay of it, the Oxford lad actually jumps in with 2 feet.
Yeah,
so if anything, he tackles more force than what McCory did.
If he was booking McCory, he had to book both of them in that situation.
Well, I'd argue it'd be a red for their player if the one that Williams was. It's ridiculous.
Before, I mean, we have our Preston fans on saying before those Bristol City lads start moaning about refereeing decisions, let's not remind them of the ones they've got away with in our game. And our Huddersfield fan also reminds you of last year with Rebecca Welch's decision, which ultimately sent Huddersfield down. So that
was a definite penalty against Huddersfield. I don't know what they're talking about, to be fair.
I think the main thing is it's such a grey area. I think that's the issue. I think you want it to be consistent, and at the minute you've just got no consistency. Like the Williams ones, for me it is harsh, but at the same time, you'd be annoyed if it didn't happen against you, sort of thing. It's one of them ones.
Yeah. Do you think does it even itself out, Ethan, for you across the course of a season, or does it not feel like it this season?
It shouldn't, and I don't think it does like do it justice. But um, it's really tricky because you only remember the ones sort of that go against you rather than for you. I feel like you dismiss the ones that go for you a lot more, but it probably does sort of even out a little bit more than it looks.
The only thing I would say about the Preston fans saying about the Hirakawa one, the difference was Hirakawa, it's a handball. There's no two ways about that. We'd be annoyed if it happened against us. But the referee can't see that, as in he's not directly looking at it. The ball's in front of Hirakawa. The referee stood right next to the Joe Williams tackle, and he still deemed it a red card. So it's a completely different scenario.
Okay.
Didn't lead to a goal. Admittedly, it didn't lead to a goal, but it changed the shape of the game when we were down to 10 men. So for Preston fans to come out and moan about the Hirakawa one, they just need to look at the context of the game before bloody opening their mouths, I think, personally.
Other fans are saying it was the formation that wasn't still not right away from home. Sam, are you having any of that discussion?
No, I think, up until the red card, we were coming into the game, and I can't blame the formation for it at the moment. That's how he likes to set his teams up. That is what it is, really, isn't it?
Okay, Ethan.
Yeah, I'm similar to Sam. I think there's only so much you can dig at the tactics, and it seems to be working at Ashton Gate. So why should it not work away from home? I think, yeah, like Sam said, we were getting into the game more and more, and I think, yeah, to hold on for 70 odd minutes without, an extra man is helpful, and we played really well.
Okay. Stay tuned to the end of the video. We want you to put in the comments now who's the worst ever midfielder that you've signed, because we'll be doing that at the end of the video to make up our worst ever 11. Let's a few more takes on the game then, Liam. This Liam says, I was disappointed not to take all three. Earthy should have done better, but tremendous effort to take a point when playing with 9 men against Oxford's 12. The referee is a banker. Just on Earthy, how's he been doing for you when we've seen him?
I think he's been doing all right. I'm actually quite surprised West Ham haven't recalled him with the fact how little we've been using him. To me, I wasn't surprised to see him play ahead of Mehmeti, because I thought Mehmeti was non-existent against Blackburn, personally. I didn't realise he was playing until he touched the ball halfway into the first half. But I think with Earthy, I think he needs to run at games. The chance at the end where he was through, I think it was Knight that played him through, it just seemed to run out of steam. And that comes from match fitness. You don't get match fitness playing 10, 15 minutes here and there. Or I think you really need to run a games to get him. I don't think he's quite up to the sharpness that Manning wants. Again, but that's down to the fact that he's not being used as often as I think he should be. I think he's a good player. I think he definitely he's a Premier League player in the making for sure.
Okay. It was nice to see some praise for this particular player on social media this week. Chris and others were saying a shout out to Sinclair Armstrong today. He's had some stick, but he came on with a thankless task and never stopped running. I thought he did a great job. Ethan, did you think he did a good job?
Yeah, I think he did really well when he came on. I think it's always going to be harder, like you say, with 10 men, and then ultimately we went down to 9. But yeah, like the tweet says, he ran his socks off, and you know what you're going to get from him. He's industrious, he's quick. So yeah, no, I was really, really happy to see him getting the praise he deserved.
Yeah, Sam, we've been critical of him so far since he signed for you, but I think his legs are going to be needed, aren't they, in the second half of this season if Mehmeti's not firing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when he first come on at the start of the second half yesterday, he was just casually jogging about. And I thought, here we go. It's the same old Armstrong, what we've been used to watching. But the minute he won that free kick, what led up to the goal, it sort of gave him a little buzz. And then he worked his socks off. He was here, there, and everywhere, chasing every lost ball down. I think he just needs that like a run in the team and a little bit of confidence. If he got a goal, I think he'd be buzzing. And you see the better side of him.
Cheers, fellas. There's one little criticism. It's one we've seen before, so hold your breath. Jake says Max O'Leary should be nowhere near this list or the first team. He's a League Two keeper at best. This list was for man of the match, of course. Sell him, and we may get a chance at promotion. Too many times he's cost the team points. I genuinely believe that we had a better keeper, we'd already be in a playoff position. Do you agree with Jake, Liam?
Absolutely not. For me, yesterday, that was Dickie's doing the goal. The ball's rolled literally right across from him. It looks like he's going to clear it, and then he takes his foot away. And by the time he's taken his foot away, the ball's already past Max. How some of the fans yesterday were saying it was Max's fault. Oh, for God's sake, it was Max this, Max. Nah, that was Dickie's doing yesterday, that goal. I've said it for a few weeks. I think Dickie has been really poor recently. Him and Viner again yesterday, between the pair of them. They were some of the times yesterday. I had my hands over my face watching the pair of them. But no, I don't see why Max was being brought into a conversation of being poor yesterday.
Do you agree, Sam?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all right, he makes the occasional mistakes, but what goalkeeper doesn't, And that was Dickie's fault yesterday. He pulled out of the clearance. Fans got short memories. You've got to look at the games where he's made some absolutely belting saves to keep us in the game and win us points. But they don't remember that. They just highlight the mistakes he makes.
Okay. It was only a few fans, we say, but of course, we're Terrace Talk. We are, of course, talking about all opinions. Right, thanks for that. Any other points coming out from the Oxford game, Ethan, that you want to bring up? Liam Manning's reception. How did you think to that?
Well, it was a given. I think that was probably the main point. I think we were expecting that, and it was going to be quite an atmosphere that they create, and they did, to be fair. But I thought, yeah, it was a really solid performance. Once going down to 10 men and then obviously 9, I think if you're coming away with a point in any game this season, having 2 men sent off ultimately is really good. But I'm just linking back to that O'Leary one as well. I think that's a really lazy stereotype nowadays. I think, yeah, it's a bit of a get out of jail card for me. I think, like the other two have picked up on, I think it was Dickie's fault. Every time you're bringing O'Leary into it, it's not. Yeah, for me, it's lazy.
Okay. I think all of you are 100% agreed on that. First of all, before we move on, we want to say a massive thank you to everyone who watches the channel. Last week, we hit our target, or you hit our target for us with us, which was to reach 100 subscribers. Let's get rid of that. So thank you so much indeed. We've been going now for 27 weeks or so. We massively appreciate everyone who's subscribed and watched us. So yeah, we'll stop asking now. So yeah, huge appreciation for that, I promise. Until we get closer to 200, then we might keep begging anymore. All right, let's jump into the rest of it then. So February, yeah, we're in a brand new month. January's finally gone. Let's have a look at our February fixtures, shall we? First of all, Liam, you've got Swansea and Cardiff in this month. Who do you hate the most?
It's got to be Cardiff, innit? Slightly closer to home. But you can flip a coin, really. But personally, it'd be Cardiff.
Yeah, you got your tickets for Cardiff, Sam?
Yeah, I secured mine in the week. So yeah, me and my daughter will be there.
Brilliant. Okay, and then I mean, you've got 3 home games there, Ethan, isn't it? And none of the opponents are very good away from home. Swansea are terrible away from home. I know Stoke have just beaten Hull, but before that, they can't win away. And Middlesbrough, wow, at the Riverside, they're a force, but then they're pretty bad on the road. So this is looking good, isn't it, this month?
That's 12 points for me. Yeah. I think that's 12 points. You got to go for it.
There's no reason why it couldn't be 12, Liam, is there?
I'd like to be optimistic, but I think that the games against Swansea and Cardiff, they always seem to raise their game against us, especially Cardiff. I don't think Borough will be a pushover, and I think Stoke, they got their first win under Romans yesterday, so I think that could be a bit of a bounce happening there. But I'd love the 12 points, but I think if we aim for sort of 10, I'd be more than happy.
All right, 2 games under the lights as well, Sam, at Stoke, and on a Friday night game for you as well. How do you generally cope in these midweek fixtures under the lights? Does it make the players perform better in your opinion versus a Saturday daylight 3 o'clock?
Yeah, over the years, we've normally got good results under the lights, but this season it's been a bit dull. Like when we've had Sheffield Wednesday down here, it was a boring 0-0 draw. Obviously, the loss to Sheffield United. But I'm looking at them fixtures, and like the guys say, I think we'll get 12 points out of that. I mean, Middlesbrough, it's guaranteed 6 points off them every season. My friend will back that up. He's a big Middlesbrough fan. He's coming down, but he's worried about that game. But we've got to beat the two Welsh sides as well.
Absolutely. The club have put out a statement this week, Liam, that there'll be no further signings and that you'll be making some players permanent. What's your reaction to the news?
I'm not surprised, but I think we have sort of. I'm hoping it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass with obviously letting Atkinson and Naismith go out on loan and not bringing a defensive cover in. I think we're okay up top. You've got the likes of obviously Armstrong and Wells to sort of rotate. Bell can play in there. Could we see the return of King Harry Cornick as well? Oh, well, hopefully I say return. We've only seen him once this season. But I'm not surprised by it. I am a little bit disappointed with the fact that this is the closest we've been to the playoffs for probably since the 2008 season. For me personally, I know we had that spell under Johnson, but that took its toll on us. But I'd like to have seen a little bit more investment, especially with everyone around us making signings and pushing for it. So I'm a little bit disappointed on that front, but I'm not surprised that the club aren't signing anyone.
Okay. Ethan, what about Hirakawa, who we hear is moving from a loan to permanent?
Yes, that's great news for us. I think he's come over here. It's a completely different culture, completely different league. It asks completely different things of you, and I think he's taken into it well. I think obviously the injury didn't help him at the start of the year, but he seems to be quite a fan favourite. So yeah, it's good. That's great news. But like Liam said, you're not expecting anything, but it's still disappointment you feel because, like you said, we're sniffing around those playoff spots, and it just felt like a bit more firepower was needed to really launch us up. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. I mean, these playoffs are wide open, so aren't they? I mean, I think literally any two teams from about 10 at the moment could sneak in there. But good that you're in the mix, aren't you? I mean, we're talking about 50 points for safety. This is another season where you're on the right end of the table.
Yeah, it certainly beats how we've been doing over the last few years, where we've been down near the bottom half, and are we thinking we going down this year, and then inevitably finish in our favourite 12th or 11th position. Yeah, it's disappointing they're not going to invest, but we knew this was happening because there was no early deals. You just got to take it as it is, haven't you, really?
Yeah, okay. Right, let's leave that there. Then finally, this week, as we have been done for the last 3 weeks, we are putting together our worst ever Bristol City 11. We are finishing it off with the midfield this week. So again, help us out. Drop in the comments below. What's the worst midfielder you've ever seen sign for the club? We're lucky that we've got a box-to-box midfielder sat right on our panel. And Ethan, so you kick this off for us as a midfield maestro yourself.
You could say that. I'm putting Henry Lansbury in there. I think maybe I haven't seen the likes of the other two, but yeah, no, Henry Lansbury for me was absolutely trousers. He was so bad. So yeah, he's in my list.
Okay, Liam.
I'm gonna put two out there. One controversial one, but the first one would be Tony Dinnan. I think we had him on loan from it was Peterborough. And then he signed him on a permanent. On loan, he was. We thought, yeah, get him on a permanent. Came in on a permanent, and he was useless. And then the other one's going to be controversial. I didn't like him personally. I thought he was a one-trick pony. It's Michael McKindo. Could not stand him. I know he scored the goal against Palace in the playoffs, but I thought he was the most overrated player in there.
I'd love to have McKindo on the left wing now, mate.
But, you could also put Sproul in that mix. It's speedboat, no driver. So those are my names into the hat.
Brilliant. All right then, Sam, sort this out for us.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this all day, and there's a few. I mean, Jody Morris, when he come in and played for us, he was awful. Neil Kilkenny was another one I didn't really go a lot And then, like you look, I was going to go Henry Lansbury, as Ethan said. That was my number one. But then a couple of loanees who never really done it, like Jonathan Lecco when he signed, and Ryan Kent. Although Ryan Kent went on to do better after he left us, he didn't do a lot in a City shirt.
Okay. I think we've got more than enough there to fill that midfield. Just let us know in the comments again what you think. Next week,
we'll have to line it up like how Manning lines his team up.
That's right. Yeah. Next week, we are appointing the captain of this assembled squad and the worst ever manager, which Bristol City have ever had. Plus, next week is Valentine's Day, so do share in the comments how you fell in love with Bristol City. Who was it? Whose fault is it? How old were you? And next week, you'll hear these three share their stories of their personal love for the club. How old were they? What was their first game? So look forward to that. Thank you, you three. You can also follow us on TikTok. We'll put the link in the description below. There's some Bristol City content on there also. Drop us a subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and we'll see you three the other side of the Swansea game, which of course will be next Sunday. See you then.